Hope everyone can hear me. It's we are here in Imola. It's buongiorno, buonasera, and well, good morning, good evening, everyone who have joined here today on the live session. And we are here at Imola for the fourth round of the SRL F1 Championship in Sri Lanka. And qualifying has just started. Apologies for the delay, guys. We got 3 minutes to go in quali. And just to give you a quick brief through, it's Melo who's on pole. We got Fawzul in second, Andrew in third, Abdullah in fourth, Savi in fifth, Curie in sixth, Gevedu in seventh, Nimmaka in eighth, and Riviro in ninth, Sanuka in 10th, Shanu in 11th. And yeah, so it's qualifying is just about done, but the drivers are basically but the drivers are basically putting in their last laps around to try to see if they can better their times around. So as you can see, guys, we got Fawzul in second place, guys, and it's a return for the last year's world champion. He's on a lap right now. Later on, we'll go on board with him on a lap during the race with a lap guide. So just stay tuned for that during the race. And I'll try to give you once again a lap guide, and this time I'll try to do better than last time, as last time I sucked quite a lot. Sorry about that. Hope you guys have had a good weekend and have tuned in, right cozy on your couches for another exciting race. Apologies once again for last time around. We had technical difficulties with the servers, so the race had to be restarted. So think of it as a red flag, a momentary red flag due to a technical issue with the servers. And once again, I think it was Melo who won the race last time in Suzuka. So he's actually the man to beat. So who's gonna beat him this time? We actually don't know. So but Fawzul is in the game. But as we see now from the lap times, guys, it's Melo and Fawzul. Fawzul, and Andrew who are at the top, and with Abdullah closely followed behind. So the top five are actually within the. So the top six, sorry guys, are within the second, with Curio with a 1:17.5 in sixth. So that's 1 second, and that's quite a good lap time by Curio, who's, by the way, guys, on playing with a mouse. We are now riding with Curio. As you can see, how it's really unbelievable how Curio is driving smoothly at the track like this using a mouse, compared to the other wheel drivers at the top. That is just good lap times by him. So hats off to Curio as well. So soon after Curio, we got basically another 6 tenths to Gevindu Nimeka improving into 1:18.4, and Riviru, Shanu, and Saluka in 11th. So it's we've got a Ferrari in pole, Williams in second place, and Fawzul pips Melo into pole. So we got 1 minute. So we got 1 minute remaining, and Fawzul is on pole by a tenth. He extended his gap by a tenth. So it's a very closely fought battle at the front, guys. Qualifying is already heated up. So just imagine how the races were gonna be if Fawzul had joined in from the start of the championship, and how the battle at the top for the championship lead for the victories would have been if Fawzul also would have joined. Welcome back, Fawzul. It's good to have you, and once again, congratulations for last year's championship, and looking forward to see you in the next races as well. And now we are on with Melo, who's basically starting another lap right about now to try and see if he can actually try to improve. So he's now at the Tamburello chicane complex, and he's now coming on to the next chicane complexes as well. We have Andrew now. So the tires that the guys are using right now is quite a mix around. This is again a trend with this year's RSS cars, that the hard tires seems to be the tires that they like to use right throughout. That's probably something weird, maybe just a patch from a racing studio. Once again, guys, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank you for joining and for sharing us during the past couple of weeks. So please keep up the good work, and please share us, follow us all social media pages, and keep spreading the word. And if you guys are sim racers, guys, please do join the SRL group. We after the championship, we do have week in, week out community races, so you can come in and practice your skills and race with the other guys, meet a great bunch of guys, and that's what I did last year, and I'm not regretting that move. We are now with Savi, so we got the race 1 winner here. So just want to say something about Savi, which is quite unfortunate. It's been quite a on a heartbreak this week. Actually, it's been a roller coaster ride in terms of emotions. He was supposed to take part in an international event, but unfortunately he couldn't. And unfortunately, it's one of those heartbreaks that our country provides. So, but he still does he gives out his heart, on track. So qualifying is over. And we've got now Fawzul on pole, Melo in second, Andrew in third, Abdullah in fourth. So those are the first two rows. And then the third row by Savi and Curio. And we've got Gevindu, Nimeka, and Rividu and Shanu. Shanu completing in the 10 cars that are taking part in this race. So we'll catch up in just a bit when the cars line up on the grid and it's lights out. So guys, so this is the pause before the storm, guys, and we've got now the drivers are basically trying to see, based on the race simulations that they've run, we've got lots of drivers who pass the 100 mark in the practice server and try to see which tires are the best. Some drivers will try to do their practice runs, as we see the cars now lining up on the grid. They're trying to do practice runs in their own machines and then simulating the conditions of the server and try to see if they can pull up one on their rivals. So the wait is just about over. The lights are about to go off. We got 33 laps of this Imola race, and the race is going to start pretty much very soon. And we got the two rivals also from last year. We got Fawzul and Melo in the first row, Andrew and Abdullah in the second row, Savi and Kiro in the third, the Gavidu and Nimeka in the fourth, fifth Riviru and Shanu, and then Sanuka lining up the cars on the grid. Lights will momentarily come on, guys, so it's just about just a bit more to go. Guys are having a bit of a pause after qualifying, and then they're on the grid. So just to give them just that bit of a rest before the storm, before they go into racing for 33 laps around this famous, iconic track that Imola has given us over the past several years, in Formula One. Right about now at Imola, the lights are coming on, guys. The lights are coming on. The trick is look but never stare. So it's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Let's see who gets a better start. It looks like Melo gets a better start than Fawzul, and is now onto the lead. Fawzul lines up right behind him, trying to take the slipstream into turn on. Let's see who goes into the lead, and that's Melo into the lead. Fawzul has to cut the chicane right there, but he's pushed wide by another driver, by Abdullah actually, I think. To fourth, Andrew slots into third. Andrew slots into third, and that's a very dreadful start by the last year's champion, Fawzul. Fawzul is up into back into fifth, and it's Melo now so it's Melo right at the front, who has a 2.2 seconds gap already into Andrew. So it's a Ferrari 1-2. It's a Ferrari 1-2, and Williams is in third place of Fawzul. It's a dreadful. I'm having, guys, a bit of a bit of lag on my stream, but yeah, here we are now riding on board with Kiro. Kiro has gained up a position into 5th place from Gevindu, and we got Nimka and we got Nemo basically sliding down into 11th place, guys. And what a start by Melo. Melo basically coming up, taking the lead from Fauzul right into turn 1, and that was a very strong start by Melo, and he's now leading, and his lead is up to 2.9 seconds from Andrew. Fauzul now is just 1.1 behind Andrew. So basically Melo continuing his strong start to this year's championship, and looks like he's the guy to beat right around. We are now riding on board with Kiro, who's getting followed by Gevindu, who's Gevindu right up closer. So the two Alfa Romeos are also battling, closely to each other. So let's go on board with Fauzul, Sash. Fauzul goes down, moves into 4th, I think. So he's had an error at Aqua Minerale, I think. And now at the chicane, Abdullah has a bit of a moment, and there's been quite a bit of a moment between the two drivers. Nearly Fauzul running into the Alfa Romeo, and now Curio is trying to take advantage of Fauzul's struggles. So Fauzul is sandwiched between the two Alfa Romeos. What is happening, guys? The last year's champion is struggling, but now he's on the main straight. They're battling it out. So it's Fauzul versus Abdullah, who's now going down into turn 1. Abdullah keeps the position, and Curio is closely following behind, watching that battle unraveling up ahead. We are riding on board with the rear view of Abdullah, who's trying to keep the last year's champion behind him. Fauzul is like a madman, trying to hunt down and trying to regain those position, guys. And right at the front, we've got Melo. Andrew is keeping Melo honest, actually. So it's just 2.3 seconds. So Andrew is basically pumping in the lap times, trying to keep Melo up in his window, and trying to see if the strategy can maybe come up again during the race, and see if he can basically try to take the win once again. And we've got Fauzul basically taking again the advantage of the two, one of the Alfa Romeos basically having a mistake into the tight chicanes, and we got down the hill goes, and we got Curio basically battling out with Fauzul, and Curio does a small mistake and goes outside at Rivazza, and Fauzul taking the advantage there. Boy, oh boy, it's Alfa Romeo versus Williams right around the Imola track, guys. This is fantastic. So now Fauzul has an 8.5 second gap. Now he's on the C1 tires, while Melo is on the C4 tires. So that also explains the fast starting Ferrari, compared to the slow starting Fauzul. So it's a bit of a tire mind game over here. And having said so, we got Curio and Abdullah in the two Alfa Romeos, who are in the C3 tires. So we can basically say, concretely say that Fauzul was having tire warm-up issues or tire issues, and that's why he's basically struggling in these conditions. But if race control can go on board with Fauzul, I can try to give you now a lap guide around Imola. So coming behind, just at the Rivazza corners, lining up, and basically on a qualifying lap, the drivers open up the DRS right at the DRS zone and start a lap right here. It's a straight with a kink, as I say, and the drivers are now basically looking at that 100-meter board into this heavy braking zone. This is turn 1, turn 2, and into turn 3, the Tamburello chicane. Take as much as exit curb as possible, kiss the curb as well, and we're coming into another fast chicane over here. Don't take too much speed into this chicane, because you're going to go into the gravel, into the grass over there, and your lap is going to get ruined. And then we are at Tosa. We are at Tosa now, turn 7. the hairpin again. Take as much as exit curb as possible, get good traction, and we are now uphill into Piratella, which are two left-handers right now. Make sure you don't go too much off the line, or track limits will penalize you. Down the hill, the car compresses down, the floor touches the ground into Aqua Minerale, turn 9 and 10, and we are up the hill again into this famous chicane that puts drivers out. We saw Charles Leclerc having a mistake here in this year's Grand Prix. Take as much as curb as possible, and then try to have a good exit now, because you are now coming down the hill into Rivazza 1. Make sure the car is stable. Rivazza 2, the rear will try to step out, and we are onto the main straight, and that's a lap at Imola, guys. So I hope that I've done better than last time, and I'm not Crofty, I'm not Martin Brundle, I'm not any one of the good commentators out there in the world, but I'm trying my best. All right, so we are now with Savi. Savi is slowly catching the two Alfa Romeos. Savi has had a bit of a downstream performance ever since the first race. Couldn't get good performances the last two races. He has had crashes all around, so he's trying to basically come up, especially as I said just after qualifying, that he's had a bit of a emotional downbreak with the chance of missing this international event that he couldn't take part, and sending out the message to all the drivers out there who likes to get into these international events, and applying for visa is hectic. So keep the fighting spirits up, guys. I've told the same to Savi as well, to keep the fighting spirit up, never give up, and one day he'll achieve his dream and racing internationally. And he's doing pretty much well in ACC, driving in the sim. So he's one of those emerging talents in Sri Lanka, alongside the others as well. So he's following the two Alfa Romeos now. Now Cura is into 4th place, and he's pumping in the lap times now. And it looks like who goes out? Have I done the commentator's guess, guys? Oops, my bad. Cura is out. Cura has had an outing into the gravel and into the barriers as well, and he's now into 6th. So I hope that he doesn't carry too much damage. And if he does, then he might have to come into the pits, and he's now getting all kinds of threats and abouts by Gavin in the Alpha Tauri. So it looks like Cura is having damage. Right at the front, we've got Mello leading and Anju in 2nd. The gap is now of 4.3 or 4.9, and Mello is trying to take care of those tires and trying to take as much as life as possible. He's now into 6 laps on those C4 tires, and once again, as we've seen in the real life, and Fawzul is out. Fawzul is out into the gravel, guys, at Piratella. That is at Rivazza. He's out at Rivazza. That's one hell of a corner coming downhill. You get too much speed into this, and if you don't have the grip into those tires, you basically go flying into the gravel. So still Fawzul is in 3rd place. He hasn't lost a position, but we got Abdullah slowly trying to catch up to him again. Fawzul was nicely building up a good gap between the Alfa Romeo and his Williams, and we are now with Savi, who's just 7/10 of a second behind Abdullah. So he might want to try to have a move on the main straight with his DRS. And he's slowly trying to reel him up again, trying to get the gap down to at least 3 to 4 tenths again. And now we are running with Riviru, who's battling it out with Shanu in the Aston Martin. So it's Red Bull versus Aston Martin, and it looks like the Aston Martin has gone out. And Aston Martin has gone out. Andrew has pumped in. Looks like Andrew has pumped in the fastest lap of the race so far, and still the gap has increased to 5 seconds. And it looks like the C1 tires are coming up alive. Even though Mello is slowly edging away, just 5 to 6 tenths a lap, I presume, or even more so. And Savi now has got past, has got past, and is now into 4th place. I think there's been an issue, and Abdullah is into the pits. I think, yes, Abdullah is into the pits. He's come into the pits. Oh, has he retired, guys? No, he's come in. Think he's retired. I don't think that it will take this much long. So yeah, I think we've got a retiree right now. Abdullah has retired from the race. Oh, he's no. He's actually in the race. So yeah, so Abdullah is in 10th, and we've got a spin, and that's an Alpha Tauri of Govindu, who has spun at. And Shano now is up in 9th place. So those were 10 laps, quite exciting. And we've got Nemo in 11th. And he's running the C1 tires. Unlike last year, guys, so for those who have followed us from last year as well, and to see, the cars, these sort of performances from these guys and the cars. It's the cars, the 2022 cars, guys, are a bit harder to drive. It needs a bit of a different handling or driving style to it. Racing Studio has done the great work, guys. Once again, I'd like to thank Racing Studio for coming up with this hell of a car in the conditions they are in, guys. So Racing Studio is a car designing for games, especially on Assetto Corsa, based in Ukraine, and they've been quite heavily affected. With the office has been, partially, or I think it was, full destroyed by the war, and they had to basically relocate to somewhere else with guys working remotely. And the car basically, instead of coming in soon after testing or the first half of the season, it came in sim. And we've got Miller now coming into the pits for a set of tires. And then Anju goes into the lead, and Fawzul into 2nd place, and Melo puts in the C1 tires. So let's see now how good Melo is on the C1 tires, because we see others struggling around trying to get heat into those tires. Savi is into a very well solid 4th place. He hasn't pitted yet, so let's see how the dynamics goes once they fit in the softer tires, and if they can basically have Savi can have a chance to maybe for a good podium position, which will be a sight of relief for this hectic week that Savi has had. Right. So, as I was saying, I was basically saying how driving these cars are compared to last year's car. So the corner entry, especially on tight corners, is much more squarer on these cars than as it was before. As it was, you could on last year's cars, you had so much front grip that you could carry that speed. You can carry that speed into the corner and not have the car basically give out on you. But with this year's cars, these front wings especially, you got so much mechanical grip from the rear of the cars with this wider tires, and so much torque out of this engine that it's really easy to basically, especially if you're running without any traction control, the car basically tends to slip out quite easily. So if you're not that gentle on the throttle, but on corner entry, the car is really lethargic. So you need to make sure that you are really good at handling that. And even in Formula One, in real life, we saw how some of the drivers took this year's regulations and were able to come up on top. So drivers like Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, and how other drivers had to work and trying to figure out the new driving style. And that driving style, and that one example is the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz was basically struggling at the first part of the season, and then he had to gradually learn a new driving style to suit these ground effect cars. It's a big rule change, and that's affecting the sim races as well. So as we see, maybe on one lap, it's quite easy, but when it comes to race distances, managing those tires, it's quite difficult. And right now, the one person I see who has got that is Melo, and Andrew is one of those guys who is learning to drive these cars, and he's he's so far right now the one guy who basically can basically bring it up to Melo, and he just need that little bit of extra step to go head to head with Melo and Savi as well. But it's also hard to say, because if Fauzul was the way way out of Sri Lanka for a couple of times. That's why he wasn't able to join the championship. So I guess maybe if he had that practice, Fauzul is one talented guy. He's of course last year's champion. He drives on iRacing. He drives on various other international events as well. So it's all about practice. In sim racing, it's all the more much you put your time and effort in the sim, the more lap time you figure it out. The trick in sim racing is don't look at the lap times. Just try to put as much as laps as possible, and try to learn the dynamics of the car, learn the steering inputs, learn the physics of the car, learn the tires, and then the lap time comes in. And this was basically an advice given by the champion himself, Fauzul himself, and it worked on me last time around last year, and that made me come up in as a runner-up. So we are at lap 14. So Andrew is continuing on his stint on the C1 tires, and Melo has reduced the gap to just 8.4 seconds to Fauzul. The gap from Fauzul to Andrew is 17, so Fauzul may have had a bit of a mistake here and there. It was a solid 15 for some time. We are now riding with Savi, and we are at the penultimate chicane before the downhill into Rivatsa. So he's he's got a 34-second gap to Govindu, so he should be even if he comes out after pitting, he should be well in his fourth position. So he will have to basically, his fight I think is with Fauzul right about now. As I see, he might want to extend his stint on this C2 tires. We're now riding with Abdullah, who's had a lengthy pit stop and that has put him on to 8th position. So I wonder whether it was maybe a technical issue while coming into the pits, and he's following his teammate in the other Alfa Romeo of Curio. We've got Kevidu and Rividu, who hasn't pitted yet, into 5th and 6th. Two Alfa Romeos are now going by Rivatsa. And we've got Andrew coming up behind them. I think it was the shadow of the Ferrari. I think I saw with to lap them. So already the Ferrari is lapping the Alfa Romeos. So today in the commentary, I should be joined by Haritha as well, and we on race control. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Hi. Thank you for joining, Haritha. And the race stream is provided by Sash. So once again, hats off to him. And in race control, once again, it's Haritha as well, who's monitoring the stuff at race control to see if everything is proceeding without any issue. So Haritha, මොනවද හිතන්නද race එක?
දැන්ට ගොඩක් දේවල් අවුලක් නැතුව යනවා. අපි පේනවා 4 දිනක් විතර දැන්ට පිට් කරලා තියෙනවානේ.
top අපි දැනට top set එකෙන් මං හිතන්නේ Melo has pitted. ඊට පස්සේ අබ්දුල්ලා පිට් කරා. The other one I think was Nimo and Shanu. Curio pick karada? Okay. I didn't follow that. Right. So we are riding now on board with Andrew. He's on his C1 tires. He's put up to 16 laps on these hard compound tires, and Melo is also now just 7 seconds. 7 seconds slowly, not taking too much life of those hard tires. I think Haritha, I don't know whether if you followed up practice, the hard tires are slow to come up to temperatures.
Yeah, true.
Right.
But there are many players driving C1.
Yeah, many players are driving C1. I think Rivido went out and exceeded track limits, so he had to slow down for a couple of seconds. So we got Abdullah closely now 7/10 behind Curio. Curio, who was up into 4th place, was having a good race, and he had a momentary outing into the barriers. But still, that's once again Curio doing so much, so good with these tools that he's got. So guys, it's not compulsory to have a wheel to drive in sim racing. You can also drive around with using a mouse and a keyboard. Even though a wheel, would be better, but still, we've got now Abdullah right all over the place behind the gearbox of Curio. He's trying to launch an attack into turn 1, but he was still, that much far away. And Curio defending his position as much as he can with the leader coming up right behind them to lap these two guys. The leader now is on. Fawzul has taken up 2 seconds now out of Andrew. It was initially 17 seconds, 17.9, and now it's now 15. So it looks like Fawzul has upped his pace, and he's slowly gaining confidence in this car, and because he's gone up 1 second faster than Melo as well, as a gap is of 8.5 seconds. My stream is freezing up just a bit. If it's the same for the audience, we are really sorry, guys. It will come back momentarily. Is the same for you, Haritha?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Melo is running actually interesting strategy, right? He started on C4 and now he's on C1.
Right, so we are behind corners. Up the hill we go. We got the Ferrari slowly. Oh, and that's Curio is getting hit all over the place, and that's Abdullah having a moment with his teammate, and Curio is now into 7th. So that's a bit of damage, and that was nearly getting caught up with Andrew. So that was a very nail-biting moment, especially for the leader, who's trying to increase the gap before he pits. He might have lost a couple of tenths or maybe a second or two in that incident right there. But yes, he has lost 2 seconds lapping the two Alfa Romeos. So that's going to be up in his mind, and that's something that race control will have a look at. Most probably because he's lost 2 seconds, and those 2 seconds will be vital if he finishes once he pits. If he finishes 2 seconds behind Melo once once he pits. So we've got Abdullah closely following Andrew continuing his stint. We are on to 19 laps on these C1 tires, so we got 13 more laps remaining, guys. We got 13 more laps remaining in this race. Andrew is coming in the penultimate corners onto the main straight to start his 21st lap. And Curio has upped the pace a bit, and it's purple lap time. So he's even though with those incidents, looks like Curio is not demotivated at all. He's trying to push as fast as he can. The gap between him and his teammates is of 5 seconds. The Alfa Romeo of Abdullah looks like he's trying to battle with the leader. He's really keeping him honest, and that shouldn't be something that Andrew needs to be worried about, unless Abdullah wants to unlap himself. And if he wants to do that, then he needs to make sure that he doesn't take out the leader as well. Fawzul has a bit of a moment at Piratella, going just about taking that too much of exit curb. It's now coming on to the uphill into the chicane. That's what I said earlier, guys. So that chicane over there, it's really tricky. Either you have the confidence in the car and take as much curb as possible. You need to hug those curbs, and make sure that the car doesn't jump. If the car jumps, guys, then you're going to lose the rear end and spin out. As you know, I think if you guys were following Formula 1, that's the same thing that happened this season. So, Andrew pits. So let's see where he comes out. Let's see where he comes out in comparison with Mello. I think he has finished, and Mello goes up into second place. And let's see, the gap right now is just 3.9 seconds. 4.6, 4.7. Yep, so it's just 4 seconds. So the gap, I think, when Mello pitted was 5 to 6 seconds. So, yeah, those 2 seconds have basically. Those 2 seconds are quite. The 2 seconds that he lost, with the Alfa Romeos coming together, are quite crucial right now. So he must be livid with himself that he had to lose those 2 seconds behind. So race control will have to take a look at that and see if any penalties can be given for that incident. So now, right now we are seeing Andrew is on the C3 tires with 10 laps remaining. He's just 3.8 seconds, guys. 3.8 seconds, and he's catching Mello right now in the C1 tires. So this can be crucial right now for the race win. Fawzul now is leading, but he will have to come into the pits for his pit stop. So we are up on a battle now. The gap is now of 3 seconds between Mello and Andrew. This is going to be the battle of the Ferraris at their home track in Italy. Something that we should have had this season, but it was Red Bull who scampered the way with a magnificent performance at the front. And Kudo right now is into 6th place. He's 7 seconds behind Abdullah. Even after that getting shunted by him at Piratella just a couple of laps ago. We've got Gemindo in 7th, Rivero in 8th, Nemo in 9th, and Sanuko in 10th, and Shanu being already 2 laps down from the leader. Shanu is in 11th in the Aston Martin. So we've got 10 laps remaining. And race control. Shall we go with the 2 Ferraris? And Andrew spins. Commentators curse. Bad Charlie. Andrew spins, guys. He was basically pushing, trying to put in qualifying laps and trying to catch Mello, but he's lost quite a lot quite a lot in that. Now the gap is up to 7. So really hope that he hasn't ruined his tires and he can still do those qualifying laps to catch him. There's still time. There's still laps remaining. Even a second lap performance by Andrew will get him. We'll get him up to Melo, and we may be able to see the battle of the Ferraris once again. Sama menna. Commentators कैसे दे पारा दुन्ना commentators कैसे
අලින් මේ ලැප් එක 2 seconds වගේ අල්ලලා හිටියේ වෙනට අපරාධ.
And Fauzel now just 8 seconds behind Andrew. He's now going into Aqua Minerale in the C4 tires. So we've got the top 3 drivers running in 3 different tires. Melo is in the hardest, the C1 tires. Then 2 compounds down, C1 and C2, we've got the C3 tires, and Fauzel is just 1 tire on the red wall, which is 1 compound down. So he's now gonna hunt Andrew down like a madman and trying to see if he can get second place, or even so, maybe the win. The win, I think Haritha might be a bit out of reach, put the Kamar away, but at least second place is gonna be achievable if he keeps on these lap times.
Yeah.
Melo is on lap 25 right now. He's continuing his run. If Sainz joins up this stream, I think he's going to be happy to see number 55 leading the race in front of Charles Leclerc. And Williams, Joska Peter will be happy to see Williams in third. After, I think, Spa 2021, I think. So he's going to be quite happy. We've got Savi in 4th place. So once again, apologies, guys, if you guys are having a bit of... the stream is playing cats and dogs for us as well.
Charles, actually the stream is fine. I think it's your connection a little bit.
I think, or maybe it's me.
Yeah. So good. Fauzel is already like 1 second up for me, so usual lap time.
Yeah. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll try to see if I can get a better connection. I think I'm back, Haritha. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, yeah, I'm also having a bit of connection issues as I'm on the road, joining up this stream and trying to commentate the session. So, apologies, guys. So we are now on board with Fauzel. Andrew has basically closed up that gap now and is just 4.4 seconds. So Andrew hasn't given up on that battle. He wants the win. He wants to win so badly that he's hunting the other Ferrari down like a madman. Now another 3/10. That's a purple lap. It's the fastest lap once again by Andrew in the second Ferrari on the C3 tires. So that's he's taken basically 4/10 out of the gap from out of Melo, and he's closing. He's reeling in the Ferrari once again. He wants the win, guys. He wants the win so badly. He wants to be part of this championship, and he doesn't want his teammate to scamper away with the title. Last year's championship winner, Fauzel, is in 3rd place. And he seems to be exiting the corner quite a number of times, and quite surprised that he wasn't hit with track limits. Nonetheless, I think shortly we will have another battle. It's round 2 between the two Ferraris. So Andrew now is 2.6. So let's see the battle now. Melo is lapping, I think, the Alpha Tauri of Gavindu. So it's round 2 is slowly coming up. We are on lap 28, guys. Don't go away from the stream. It's gonna be a bloodbath between these two drivers.
I will join the drivers down there for the last 5 laps. Okay, see you.
Okay. Thank you, Harita. Harita is off to race control once again. Andrew is now just 1.5. Is now going down into the Aqua Minerale, and he's hunting down the Ferrari of Melo in the hard tires. So the hard tires, guys, are really hard to manage, and Andrew is taking advantage of the situation. As you said in the last races, guys, Andrew is a guy and he's now just 9 tenths. I think Melo has had maybe an issue out of Rivazza. So the gap now is on 9 tenths, guys. Was it an issue with Melo, or that Andrew has had so much grip in Rivazza that he took a whooping 1 second out in now just 7 tenths behind Melo. So this is going to be a battle that we need to be right at it. So let's see now who's going to get into the lead. Andrew sniffing that victory. Andrew is looking up ever close onto that gearbox of the other Ferrari, of his teammate, of Melo. He wants the win here at Imola. He wants the Ferrari win, and what a place to have that win, guys. He's ever close now into Melo, guys. Will Andrew now go down, lunge down at Rivazza? He should just take it easy into these corners and try to see if he can have a really good exit out of Rivazza onto the main straight. And it looks like that's the thing that he's gonna do. There's a back mark of the McLaren of Nemo. So let's see now if Andrew can slams down open that DRS. Let's see if he can get a good slipstream of Melo. Who's gonna go into the lead into turn 1? Melo goes into the lead, but Andrew does the switcheroo and he goes into the lead, guys. Wow, what a battle! The switcheroo in the chicane, guys, and Andrew leads, and Melo goes out into the corners trying to carrying that much speed, and Nemo becomes a passenger of that. Andrew is in the lead at Imola, guys. What a drive by Andrew, and Melo just couldn't do anything about it. He did the switcheroo at the chicane. Wish we could see the replay. We'll put up the replay in the channel, guys. So please please be mindful of the content on our social media channels. And Andrew is in the lead. Oh, we've got a Red Bull spinning up there. And now I think there is a gap of 3.3. Now I think Andrew can take it easy and just ease up, and just 3 laps to go. He doesn't need to push that much because he's got that much ever grip on those tires that he can basically cruise up to the win. He doesn't need to make any mistakes. I hope that I don't put the commentator's curse. And Fawzul is 9 seconds sitting down in third, and we've got Gavindu in the Alpha Tauri spinning up all over the place. At Rivazza, and at Rivazza we've got the Aston Martin of Shanu battling up with Gavindu basically coming up and lapping the Aston Martin of Shanu. So Melo leading for the first half of the race after a clever strategy. If you guys are just joining right now, after a clever strategy by Andrew is taking the lead. Andrew takes the lead after a hectic battle after a hectic battle and into the turn 1 and 2 and 3 into Tamburello chicane, and Andrew is now leading the race with 2 laps to go. Andrew is feeling that win. He's just 4.1 seconds. He just need to take it really easy. I was in the same position last year, guys. When you have that first win under your belt, especially this is the first win of the season for Andrew, your legs are shivering. You're just making sure that there isn't anything going on around you, and you just need to take the car home for just another lap. So we are on the penultimate lap, I think. We are on the penultimate lap, and Andrew has done his ever best once again. That's why I always name him the king of strategies. He does this strategic game. He's really good at strategies, and there are no words that I can describe what a driver and what talent. Likewise with Melo, raw speed up there, and it's a Ferrari 1-2. Melo is in second, and it's just damage control for him as well. He's doing good in the championship as well, having a good healthy lead. So we are with now Andrew. So it's Andrew, Melo, Fauzul, Savi, Abdullah, Curio, Gavindo, Revino, Nemo, Sanuka, and Shanu. Your drivers up now. There are no retirees as of yet. And we are on to the final lap of the race. So, guys, what an exciting race has been. 33 laps of the race at Imola. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys into the next race, a race which has given up so much excitement, and this is what we basically, this is what racing is all about. Clean racing, no major shunts this time around as well. Once again, apologies, guys, for any stream issues if the stream got stuck. We are doing what we can with the tools we've got, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this race today. And Savi now is into third. It looks like Savi has overtaken. So Savi has done his best. I think maybe we may have an issue. So let's go on board with Andrew, who should be taking the final corners. Who should be taking the final corners? Yeah, he's at Rivazza, guys. So Andrew in the Ferrari, coming out of the final corner. He's coming onto the straight, and he wins the race at Imola. He wins round 4. He's raced around with excitement. Andrew is a race winner in this 2022 championship, and he ups the game on Melo. So it's a Ferrari bloodbath, and Andrew comes up on top today. Congratulations, Andrew. Wonderful race, wonderfully driven. And Melo comes in second place with Savi in a late charge, taking the place from Fauzul. I wonder if Fauzul, I was too busy looking up at Andrew that I couldn't see. I wonder if Fauzul had an issue. But Savi is coming up, and he finishes in third. So he's gonna be very happy finishing up in third. Fauzul in fourth after P2, after a front row start. He's had issues, but Fauzul should be happy, finish up in fourth. Abdullah in fifth, Curio in sixth, after issues that he's had with his teammate. And Gavido in seventh, Rivino in eighth, Nemo in ninth, Sanuko in 10th, and Shanu 11th. So that's a roundup, and that's the final roundup of the positions for this race. And guys, thank you for joining, and see you in the next race. Have a good night. Enjoy the race in Mexico today. Cheers.
Baby, you can have it. If I put it down, down, you can take it. Baby, you can take it. If I put it